Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Josh the Entertainer coming at you with a special in memoriam video dedicated to my favorite actress. For those of you who may not know, today is April the 12th. Now, you're probably thinking to yourselves, Josh, we know what day it is. I know that. What I mean is, today would have been Shannen Doherty's 54th birthday today, had she lived. Shannen Doherty, born Shannen Maria Doherty, born April 12th, 1971. Starred in so many movies and shows, from her early days in Little House on the Prairie. For those of you who were born in the 70s, who remembers that? Now, I myself, even though I wasn't born in the 70s, obviously I was born in 1984. But I saw maybe bits and pieces of maybe episodes, but never really a full episode, at least none that I can remember, of Little House on the Prairie. So I really couldn't tell you a whole lot about it. But I know there are a lot of people who have probably seen it. But me, I just haven't. And again, I mean, I can go back and watch it anytime, on the various different streaming services. I could, but I don't know. I'm not. But anyway, from Little House on the Prairie to, movies such as Girls Just Want to Have Fun, or Headers, as the character, Header Duke, or Mallrats, and that was, when was that? 95? Please correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong on what year that came out in. I probably am wrong. I apologize. But we all remember Shannen from the hit TV series Beverly Hills 90210 as Brenda Walsh. Now, I will admit myself, I really didn't watch Beverly Hills 90210. That just wasn't my kind of show. It wasn't back in the 90s. It just really wasn't. But I know there are a lot of people who watched it, who loved it. And that's cool. But me, again, I just wasn't that just wasn't my kind of show. Maybe I should try to go back and watch maybe a few episodes. Maybe. But after Beverly Hills 90210, fast forward into what I believe it's 97, I want to say, yes. 1997? Or was that 98? No, 1998, when Charmed first debuted. And still one of my all-time favorite shows. I absolutely love Charmed. It's in my top 5. It is. She played, of course, as many of you know, she played the older sister, Prudence Hallowell. Absolutely love Prue. My favorite character. Again, I love Charmed. Now, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be watching an all Charmed marathon today in dedication, in celebration of Shannen Doherty. Again, since today would have been her 54th birthday. So I'm going to be watching several episodes of Charmed today. And actually, some of the episodes I'm going to be watching, well, the remaining episodes, I should say, that I'm going to be watching, because I already watched one earlier. But I'm going to watch which Proves It Anyway, from season 1, as well as Wicked Envy, From Fear to Eternity, That 70s Episode, Ex Libris, Astro Monkey. I know some of these, the names of some of these episodes are just pretty weird, pretty funny. But anyway, All Hallowell's Eve, Blinded by the White Lighter, Death Takes a Hallowell, and Pre-Witched. Now, what I love about Charmed, about some of the names of some of these episodes, if some of you may already know, but for those of you who don't, the names of some of these episodes are actually sort of like a play on word, if you sort of like a play on words from various different old movies or shows or sayings. For example, the episode I watched early this morning, is there a Woogie from? I mean, sorry, is there a Woogie in the house? Season 1, episode 15. Obviously, it's a play on word from the old saying, "Is there a doctor in the house?" And there are many other examples. Let's see. Rewitched. It's an episode from season 8. Obviously, the old classic television series Bewitched. We have all seen that show. Love that show. Again, wasn't born in the 60s, but I've seen it. Anyway, Kill Billy. There are 2 episodes from season 8 called Kill Billy Volume 1 and Kill Billy Volume 2. Now, I don't even need to tell you what that's referencing, obviously. What movie that is. Because we all know what movie that is. The Quentin Tarantino Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. We all know that. And there are many other sayings or shows. That 70s episode from season 1. Obviously, of course, the television series That 70s Show. And again, many others. I'm not going to go into detail, but me, again, I love Charmed. I enjoy watching Charmed, and for me, it was sort of like an opportunity to just get away from life itself. I remember, years ago, it's like I could not wait to get home, and I would just watch episodes of Charmed. Why? Because it helped me to just really relax and just get away from the worries of life itself. I enjoy it. So Charmed, it holds a very special place in my heart. It does. Again, it's easily one of my top five favorite shows of all time. And I watch, I watch a lot of it. I do. I I really mainly watch episodes from seasons 1 through 3 because, as you guys will know, she was really on there for the first 3 seasons. Shannen was, and then her character was killed off. Her character Prue was killed off in the season 3 finale called "All Hell Breaks Loose." Which, by the way, I don't watch that episode. I don't. It's me. I like to pretend the events in that episode didn't happen, that she didn't die, that Prue didn't die. I like to pretend that didn't happen. I hate it when she left the show, obviously. I mean, there were problems, as we all know. She had, some the problems and stuff like that on set with co-stars, not just, on Charm with Alyssa Milano and of course Beverly Hills 90210. We all know that, and I'm not going to go into detail about that. I'm not going to talk about that because that is not what I'm here to do. That I don't want to talk about that. I don't care. I really don't. I I just don't care about that. So again, I'm not going to talk about that. But like I was saying, Charm, love the show, love it so much, and some of my favorite episodes, actually, my 3 favorite episodes would be, let's see, it will be from seasons 2 and 3. The episodes is Chick Flick and Ex Libris and Blinded by the White Lighter. I love those 3. Those are my 3 favorites from the series. Now, again, I only, like I said earlier, I only just watch episodes from the first 3 seasons and none afterwards. Well, except for episodes from season 8, the 8th and final season. But see, that's the thing about season 8. And let me first say that season 4 was, I want to say it was decent to good. Not a bad season at all. Season 4 wasn't. It was actually a good, pretty good season. Season 4 was. And of course, Rose McGowan. Love Rose. Great actress. She played Paige Matthews, the younger half sister of Piper and Phoebe, and of course Prue, who died in the season 3 finale, All Hell Breaks Loose, as mentioned earlier. Anyway, in season 4, like I said, Rose, she came onto the show and debuted as Paige Matthews, and she was on there throughout the rest of the series. I loved Paige, and so she was actually, besides Prue, Paige was my second favorite, besides Prue. Again, my favorite sister was Prue, and then you had Paige Matthews. So Paige was my second. Anyway, like I said, season 4 actually not that bad of a season. Season 5 was even better than 4, in my opinion. I liked season 5. Season 6, it really starts to go down. It does. And when I say it goes down, yeah, it's really not that good of a season. But season 7 was actually better. It was, and so it was a step up. Yeah, let's just say it was a step up from season 6. 7 was. Now they should have stopped at season 7. They should have ended it right there. Unfortunately, they decided to go for one last season. That was a that was a bad decision. It really was. That was a bad decision because season 8 truly was just an absolute. It was. It's a bad season. It is truly the worst. And I thought that season 6 was, again, season 6 is really not that good. But in comparison to season 8, well, actually, I was going to say that season 6 is better than season 8, but now I think about it, I don't know. Anyway, season 8, it's really bad, but there are still a few episodes that I will watch. And really, the only reason why season 8 is worth watching is because of one person, and that person being another one of my favorite actresses, Kaylee Cuoco. We all know Kaylee Cuoco from The Big Bang Theory as Penny. We all know her. We've all seen The Big Bang Theory. Remember Sheldon Cooper? Seriously. Anyway, yeah, she played the young witch Billy Jenkins in season 8. So yeah, we all are familiar with Kaylee, and me personally, I actually liked her character, Billy. I liked it. I know the fans weren't really into her character, and the truth is, it was the writing. The writing was just absolutely awful. It really was bad. The writing was. And it's a shame because you look at where the series started off at. The series was like up here, season 1, up here. And of course, season 2 gets better, and season 3 was even the best of the first 3 seasons. But then, let's fast forward to the 8th and final season, and season 8 truly was the worst season of it all. And that's a shame, it is. But I still love the show. Again, it still holds a special place in my heart. It does. Shannen, oh, love watching her movies, and I've seen several of her movies, several of her, made for television movies, and I liked them. I did. I enjoyed watching them. I enjoyed watching her on the screen. Again, just a great actress she was. But cancer. Cancer is that's a beast. Hate it. We all, or a lot of us, I should say, probably have family members, or we knew people who had cancer or who died from cancer. My grandmother, many moons ago, she had breast cancer. She did. But she was in remission, thankfully. Unfortunately, I mean, she would still end up dying, but that had nothing to do with the cancer because, again, the cancer was really in remission and it was gone. But what she died of, obviously, of course, you know, is COVID pneumonia a couple years back. So, but yeah, it's a beast. And at one point, that her cancer had went into remission. Shannen's breast cancer. At one point, it went into remission, but then it just came back and came back even worse. You know, in stage 4. Lived with stage 4 for what I want to say what a number of years until it finally took her. You know, July 13th, 2024. One of the saddest days of my life because, again, loved Shannen, huge fan of hers, and loved watching her work, loved seeing her on the screen. Let me just say real quick before I continue, for the ladies out there, please, if you haven't already, then please go and have your screenings done. You don't want to put it off because you never know. So always take preventive measures and, again, go and get those screenings done, ladies. We love you. We don't want to see anything happen to you. We don't want to see you get this horrible disease. And for those, if you haven't, if you are, that's great. Continue to do so. But there are a number of foundations, I mean, charities out here, breast cancer charities out here that you can support. One in particular, obviously the most well known, is the Susan G. Komen Foundation. A good charity to support. So obviously, you know, we want to support that, and I encourage everyone to support Susan G. Komen. Anyway, death. It's one thing that we're never really prepared for. Because, again, no one's prepared for death. No one is. No one believes that they're going to die tomorrow. But see, that's the thing. Death comes to us all. And we've all heard that saying, there are two things guaranteed in life: death and taxes. And you can't avoid death. You can't escape it. And unfortunately, it's going to come for us all. Unless we are one of those who happen to still be alive when Christ comes back. Other than that, yeah, we're all going to die one day. Not to be a downer here, but that's the truth. But the question is, when that day does come, are we prepared for that day? Are we prepared for it? What do I mean? What I mean is, are we prepared eternally? Are we prepared to, as the song goes, as the old song goes, prepare to meet thy God. Are we prepared to meet God? Is the question. There are so many here today who live their lives in a way where for them it's all about becoming as successful as you can be. It's all about trying to be successful. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. But when we make that our life's goal and our mission in life, then yes, that becomes a problem. Why? Because we're so focused on trying to be successful, trying to get all the money. And again, there's nothing wrong with earning money. There's nothing wrong with wanting to have money. There's nothing wrong with that. But spending our whole lives, dedicating our lives toward money, toward trying to become successful or famous or well liked, that is where the problem occurs. And so many, unfortunately, they live their lives in that way. But the question is, what is our goal? What is our purpose in life? And you ask any worldly person, and they will give you a number of answers concerning what our purpose is in life. But if you want to know what man's purpose in life is, let's turn over to the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verses 13 and 14. Again, that's Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, verses 13 and 14. And let's hear what King Solomon has to say. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is man's all. For God will bring every work into judgment, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. Again, listen to that again. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For that is man's all. Our whole being, our purpose in life is to please God. It is to do the will of God. Again, fear God and keep his commandments. You want to know what your purpose in life is? Again, I'll tell you what it is. Fear God and keep his commandments. That is why we are here. That is why we are put here on this earth. It is to bring glory to the Most High God, the creator of us all, the creator of heaven and earth. So the question is, are we living in a way that brings glory to him? Are we being faithful to him? Are we keeping his commandments? Remember what Jesus says, if you love me, keep my commandments. There are so many people here today who claim to love the Lord, who say, oh, I love God. Oh, I love Jesus so much. But you look at the way they live their lives, and you know that's a lie. And of course, a lot of people would be like, I can't believe you just said that, Josh. How do you know that they don't love God? You can tell if a person loves God. Well, how? Again, remember the words of Jesus. If you love me, keep my commandments. If you truly love God, if we love Him, we're going to keep His commandments. So again, there are a lot of people who will spend their whole lives doing everything else except for one thing: fearing God and keeping His commandments. They will spend their whole lives in trying to get the money, in trying to be successful. And again, there's nothing wrong with wanting to be successful. I'm not saying that, oh, well, that's wrong. No. But once again, my point is, when we spend our whole lives in dedication to trying to become successful, that is the problem. Again, therein lies the problem. You remember the words of Jesus in Mark chapter 8, verses 36 through 37. If you'll turn there, that's Mark chapter 8, verses 36 through 37. Jesus says, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? Or what will a man give in exchange for a soul?" Again, what will it profit you if you were to gain the whole world? If you were to become this great successful person that everyone loves and cares about, and they talk about you, and you're uber successful, but yet you did not know God. You did not, as Solomon said, fear God and keep His commandments. What will it profit you? What was the point then? What was the point of your life? Again, what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world? If he were to gain the whole world, but yet lose his own soul? What profit is that to you, to me, to anyone, if we gain the whole world but we lose our souls? So many here today have, or rather, so many in this world have died, have perished. Successful people. And not just successful people. Don't think that I'm just, oh, well, you're just talking about, oh, you hate the rich. No, I don't hate the rich. I don't hate anyone. I don't envy anyone's success. But my point is, there are so many who will dedicate their whole lives in trying to do all of this. And never having known God, never having obeyed Him. And so again, what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world, but yet he loses his own soul? What does it profit me? What does it profit you? Once again, fear God and keep His commandments. That is our whole purpose and our being in life. And so, hopefully, when that day comes, hopefully we can say that when that day comes, hopefully we can say that we have fought the good fight, that we have finished the race, that we have kept the faith. As the Apostle Paul in 2 Timothy chapter 4, if you'll turn over there with me, 2 Timothy chapter 4, beginning in verse 6, verses 6 through 8. For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. Now, before I continue, as we know, the Apostle Paul was imprisoned here at the writing of 2 Timothy, and he knew that he wasn't getting out this time. Unlike his first epistle to Timothy, he was imprisoned during his first epistle, and he knew that he was going to be getting out, and he did. As history tells us, he got out of prison during the writing of 1 Timothy. He knew that. But here in 2 Timothy, he knew that he wasn't getting out. He knew that he was going to die. He knew that. And history tells us that. It bears the fact that Paul was beheaded according to tradition. And again, if I'm wrong on that, please leave a comment and let me know if I'm wrong on that. And so, again, he knew he wasn't getting out. So that's why, once again, in verse 6, he says, For I am already being poured out as a drink offering, and the time of my departure is at hand. Again, he knew that he was about to die shortly, and he did. But can we be able to confidently say ourselves, as the Apostle Paul did in verses 7 through 8, I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. Finally, there is laid up for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will give to me on that day, and not to me only, but also to all who have loved his appearing. Again, can we confidently say that we have fought the good fight, we have finished the race, we have kept the faith? Can we confidently say that? If not, then that's a problem. A problem that can easily be remedied by faith, repentance, confession, and finally, baptism for the remission, that is, for the forgiveness of your sins. According to Acts 2:38, Romans 6 verses 3 through 4, in Colossians 2 verses 11 through 13. And finally, after becoming a child of God, you live faithful to God. As it is written in Revelation chapter 2 verse 10, Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give you the crown of life. Again, remember, I go back to the words of Solomon. I'll go back to those words. Fear God and keep his commandments. Are you fearing God? Again, we can easily say, oh yes, of course, I fear God. But do you really? Again, What does it mean to love God? Remember, if you love me, keep my commandments. Thank you for taking the time and listening. And for those who will watch the video later, again, thank you. And if you haven't, please follow me here on Facebook. I will continue to do more great and more entertaining videos. And originally, I was going to originally do a memoriam for not just Shannen Doherty, but also Michelle Trachtenberg, but I decided I'll do one for Michelle on in October, on her birthday. So yeah, that's what I'll do in October if the Lord will let me live that long. If He'll let us live that long. But again, I leave you with the words of Solomon. Let us hear the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is man's all. Thank you.